books is in. The books are in. Yep. They in. They're here.
Log in to KofiPaisaTV.com and get Spears of the Mossy Volume 1 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, from Spears the Pen Volume 2 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, Spiritual Combat Volume 3 by Kofi Paisa Research Team, One Night Before Bed by Any Harek Shawn Funny, Kalawa's Trip to the Motherland by Kofi Paisa, From Cocaine to Consciousness by Any Harek Shawn Funny, As I Learned, We All Learn by Kofi Paisa. Also, if you want fresh merch, go to our online store, Family Connect Apparel, and get all the brands. Also, get our 54 deck of quiz and educational cards available now on KofiPaisaTV.com.
ETM Hotel, Rennie Shawn. Welcome and peace. My name is Shawn. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into this episode of Science with Shawn, following up a discussion that we had on delivering the mRNA and who the real messenger was. So I appreciate everybody who tuned into the last conversation regarding the real messenger and RNA, understanding nature's busiest molecular machine. If you missed that episode and didn't catch it from its beginning, please feel free to go back and rewatch that episode on the Mossy Warrior Clan YouTube channel. I am streaming from 2 platforms at this particular moment, so I do want to go ahead and shout out everybody that is in the chat. So Indonesia 5000 peace, Chavis peace, Jeremy peace, Mr. Rich peace, Black African Power, Infinite Minds peace to you, and all of everyone that is tuned in but have not said anything to anyone in the chat. So again, like the show, share the show, tell a friend, we're here. Again, make sure that you go out and you purchase your copy of Spearmasters, a historical survey of the minds of African warrior scholars, Volume 4 by Kofi Paisa Research Team. Make sure you also pre-order your copy of What SARS-CoV-2 Taught Me. We have a limited amount of autographed books that will be going out. And then there'll be some stuff to come behind that. The links are in the description of the video, and they are in both chats. Please, y'all, like the show, share the show. Pure Black, I didn't see you on the last bill. So you got some catching up to do as far as what we want to get into now. I do, however, want to talk about something that's in my book. Yep. I want to talk about something that's in my book. And not to the specificity of an article that we're going to read that was published in the Cell, but we're going to talk about the evolutionary. Well, chapter 5 of my book deals with the evolution of vaccine science and the creation of COVID-19 vaccines. And it also gives credence to some important people that were instrumental in the creation of mRNA vaccines. All right. So I don't know why people call them a work phone. I'm not working. All right. So before I get started, I just want to let you know that if you are a Mr. Malone fan or Dr. Malone fan, and you're caught up in the mysticism of him being the creator of mRNA technology, then you want to tune in. If you know of someone that is a Malone fan and they're asking certain questions, you want to tune in right here. Now, I'm not going to give you chapter 5 of my book in this episode. Not going to do that. That's not what this is about. This conversation is not about that. This is about some people that I wrote about in this. And I think I did a nice job. I'm not going to say a great job. I'm going to leave that to the critics or people that are critiquing the book. And I'm going to let them deal with the specificities of that. However, I'm going to go ahead and pull out, and I think it's on page 90 of my book. I'm going to read just a little bit of page 90 from my book. And I'm not going to read the leading into that. I'm just going to start at 56 years later. And I'm going to deal with it. It says 56 years later, the emergence of third generation vaccines would evolve by chance due to a novel virus that spread across the globe faster than Chris Johnson of the Tennessee Titans did on his way to the end zone from 90 plus yards out. When Caitlin Carrico, PhD, came to the United States from Hungary in 1985, she brought with her a passionate determination to work on mRNA. Messenger RNAs are fundamental to life sets of blueprints spelled out using 4 nucleotide letters for building every protein in every life form on Earth. Carrico's big idea was to produce proteins at will by injecting mRNA into cells, but her experiments did not work for a long time. Lack of success forced her to rely on one senior scientist, another to support her work, while she made only meager wages. In 1998, Carrico partnered with Drew Wiseman, MD, PhD, at the University of Pennsylvania. Wiseman was interested in developing an HIV vaccine based on mRNA. After many failures, Carrico and Wiseman learned that natural mRNAs use small amounts of slightly modified nucleotides. In addition to the 4 standard nucleotides, when the scientists inserted the modified nucleotides into the mRNA, they were using in their research, they began to find that these modified mRNAs produce proteins efficiently without causing undesirable side effects. They began to publish their findings starting in 2005. By the time the coronavirus that causes COVID-19 showed up in 2020, Carrico and Wiseman were already working on an influenza vaccine based on their mRNA technology. So in my book, I give credence to 2 people who were instrumental in forthcoming research started in 1985 and bringing it forward till today. Now, I didn't share my screen for a reason. You don't need to see the book because you're going to purchase the book and you're going to get your signed copy of the book and it's going to come to you. The link's in the description. Get the book. What are y'all waiting on? Y'all can listen to YouTube and go to Same Tree Different Branch right now and pre-order the book, What SARS-CoV-2 Taught Me, and get your copy solidified. You can get your copy solidified right now by going to Same Tree Different Branch. And while you're pre-ordering What SARS-CoV-2 Taught Me, pick up Spillmasters. Carded, purchase both books. Absolutely. You heard this whole thing about Robert Malone. Well, now I'm going to share my screen because now I want to dive a little bit deeper. So, in my book, I shout out the 2 people that was more instrumental than what a Robert Malone would be. And now I'm going for his jugular since I can't play his video or put the pseudoscience on the screen because YouTube is monitoring that. So we're going to go into something that was published in the Cell, and hopefully I make this big enough for everybody to read. If you're on Kofi Paisai research team, like the stream, share the stream. If you're on the Mossy Warrior clan, like the stream, share the stream. And we about to get it in. So we're going to review the article that was published in the Cell. My dog just barking up a storm. It's time for him to eat. Anyway, delivering the message, how a novel technology enabled the rapid development of effective vaccines. This article was written by Shapiro and Losick. All right. You got Harvard and Stanford connecting with one another to bring forth this information. Says this year's Lasker DeBakey Clinical Research Award honors Caitlin Carrico and Drew Wiseman for the development of a therapeutic technology based on nucleoside modification of messenger RNA, enabling the rapid development of the highly effective COVID-19 vaccine. Oh, I know Robert Malone feelings is hurt. By March of 2020, people across the world were slowly coming to the realization that their daily lives were about to change. A deadly pandemic was circling the globe. Other than the identification of the coronavirus as the likely culprit, we lacked knowledge of the immunity to the virus and had neither therapeutics nor vaccines to combat its spread and save lives. As we write this article, the coronavirus disease 2019 COVID-19 pandemic is thought to have caused the death of 4.3 million people, actually more now, and sickened 208 million people. And this is surely an underestimate. Due to an extraordinary feat of rapid vaccine design, development, manufacture, and distribution just 15 months after the onset of the pandemic, the global community is, albeit progress is geographically uneven. Novel and highly effective vaccine based on nucleoside modified messenger RNA encapsulated in lipid nanoparticles designed and developed at breakneck speeds have become the major factor in controlling the spread of severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. How was it possible to create these novel vaccines in less time than any other vaccine in history? Where did these vaccines come from? And what was the fundamental science on which they are based? One of the challenges that we in the scientific community face is communicating to the public how basic research benefits society at large. How do years of inquiry devoted to seamless, obscure problems contribute to the public good? Every once in a while, discovery is made that in the fullness of time, I'm here, in the fullness of time has truly obvious and dramatic impact on humankind. Such is the case of groundbreaking contributions of Caitlin Carrico and Drew Wiseman, who have been honored by the 2021 LASIK DeBakey Clinical Research Award. Their sustained efforts in adapting mRNA as a platform for producing therapeutic proteins in host cells are what enabled fast development of highly effective vaccines against the pandemic-causing SARS-CoV-2. These vaccines are having and already have had a major impact on the health of many millions of people around the world. Carrico, who was born in Hungary, as my article says, the chapter in my book, Carrico was born in Hungary, where she obtained her PhD in biochemistry in 1985. She then moved to the U.S. As a postdoctoral fellow at Temple University in Philadelphia, where she began her long journey in adapting mRNA to therapeutic use, carrying out clinical research based on triggering interferon production of double-stranded RNA. As a research assistant professor at the University of Penn School of Medicine, now called the Parallel School of Medicine, she focused her efforts on using in vitro synthesized mRNA encoding therapeutic proteins for treating acute disease. Even as Carrico faced many obstacles in her initial efforts at adapting synthetic mRNAs for use in cell cultures, she was unable to gain funding for her work and was demoted from her faculty position to senior research investigator. She exhibited remarkable resilience and preserved in her pursuit of an effective mRNA therapeutic. The game changer was the 40th encounter with the newly arrived immunologist Drew Wiseman, who had received his MD and PhD in Boston University in 1987. Wiseman came to the University of Penn in 97 from the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, where he had trained as a fellow, later senior staff fellow under the supervision of Anthony Fauci, who, in an unexpected coincidence, would become a principal spokesman on the control of the COVID-19 pandemic in the United States. As colleagues at the University of Penn School of Medicine, Carrico and Wiseman discovered they had a common interest in the delivery of synthetic and mRNA to generate highly targeted therapeutic proteins. Although work on delivering therapeutic proteins using mRNA had been going on for decades in multiple labs, Carrico's and Wiseman's complementary skills and expertise led to the breakthrough that enabled the rapid development of vaccines for SARS-CoV-2. Earlier on, Carrico and Wiseman focused on using in vitro synthesized mRNAs to direct the production of therapeutic proteins. By delivering the mRNAs, exogenously into cells in culture with cationic lipids. A critical obstacle they encountered was the synthetic mRNA was highly immunogenic in human dendritic cells of innate immune system, triggering synthesis of pro-inflammatory cytokines. As early as 2000, Carrico and Wiseman published that transfection, and Wiseman published that transfection of dendritic cells with mRNA for HIV polyprotein gag induced a potent immune response, primarily through recognition of a double-stranded regions of the RNA. In 2004, they reported that small interferon RNAs targeting the viral genes during herpes simplex virus infection compromised therapeutic effects by activating the toll-like receptor, which they call the TLR3, one of the basic signaling receptors of the innate immune system, to induce type 1 interferon and enhance RNA degradation. Several other research groups that had tried to use siRNAs in therapeutics also encountered the problem of RNA instability, and two groups reported that single-stranded RNA was recognized by toll-like receptors. A key early observation was that whereas synthetic RNAs triggered pro-inflammatory cytokine production, some naturally occurring RNAs, such as transfer RNAs, which were used as control, did not. tRNAs are known to be rich in modified nucleotides. Up to 25% of the nucleosides in tRNA are modified. The penny dropped when Carrico and Wiseman realized that nucleosides might camouflage RNA from the innate immune system. Where were you at, Robert? In a seminal 2005 paper in Immunity, Carrico and Wiseman reported that mRNA synthesized in vitro using T7 RNA polymerase and wide variety of modified nucleotide substrates reduced production of pro-inflammatory cytokines from the monocyte-derived dendritic cells. Notably, the uridine derivatives, such as 5-methyluridine and 2-thioluridine and pseudouridine, abolished the capacity of mRNA to activate primary blood-derived dendritic cells. If you watch Science with Shawn, we've talked about the dendritic cells, we talked about the pseudouridine, and we've also dealt with the what else we dealt with on this? The derivatives, the uridine derivatives. We could properly define those for people in the audience who's first time encountering this particular information. However, this article is also in the description of the video, and I don't want to draw it out and lose people along the way. But I do want to let you know that maybe we should see if we can look this up for you. I'll do it later, and we'll get to that. So let's go back, pump, and we'll get into some of that. Now, mRNA-mediated immune stimulation was suppressed proportionally to the number of modified nucleosides present in mRNA, but even the presence of a few modified nucleosides exert a suppressive effect. Please get the likes up on Kofi Pi side and Mossy Warrior Clan. We got almost even numbers in both chats. So we got people in both chats commenting and communicating, not as much in Kofi and on the Pi side research team, but we got a lot of people chatting and going along with the conversation. What I am doing right now, ladies and gentlemen, what I am doing right now is I am breaking the back of Robert Malone, Dr. Robert Malone. Remember, there was a claim that he was the person who invented mRNA. That was the claim. He owned some patents. That was the claim. His research goes way back, the same time that Carrico and Wiseman research comes into play. But there was some differences there. He couldn't cross certain hurdles. Wiseman and Carrico did. And they are being recognized for their work. And he is on dark horse websites on YouTube promoting pseudoscience because his feelings is hurt. So again, these two people, Carrico and Wiseman, are in my What SARS-CoV-2 Taught Me book. In the description of the video, you can go and pre-order your copy today. I see you in the chat, Dave B. I don't want to say this again. You can pre-order your copy of What SARS-CoV-2 Taught Me today. The description is in the video. Same tree, different branch. And then it will be worldwide when we go full all get out when the book releases. So you'll be able to get in the UK. Now, let's get back to this. And what proved to be sent, the authors noted that at the end of their 2005 paper that the results of their study would be essential to the design of therapeutic RNAs. Importantly, in later work, Carrico and Wiseman went on to show that incorporation of pseudouridine henceforth not only reduced immunogenicity, but also significantly increased translation of synthetic RNAs, both in vitro and in mice. In total, these results showed that modified mRNA could be used to produce high levels of proteins of interest without triggering strong inflammatory responses. Also, we're here. And about the same time, Barry Poliski, founder of Sciencew Therapeutics, made rRNA that was chemically modified to increase the stability of RNA. Another name. So now we have Wiseman, Carrico, and Poliski. We ain't heard of Robert Malone yet. Let's continue. These investigators showed that when the modified rRNA was encapsulated in lipid and then introduced into a mouse model for hepatitis B virus infection, the alterations to the two hydro groups lowered cytotoxicity and immunostimulator side effects. The earlier publications from Carrico and Wiseman garnered limited attention, but were noticed by a former young faculty member of Harvard Medical School named Derek Rossi. So now we have Poliski, we got Derek Rossi, a student, Carrico, and Wiseman. We still don't have a Malone. The early publications from Carrico and Wiseman garnered limited attention, but were noticed by the younger faculty member at Harvard Medical School, Derek Rossi. Rossi, who was studying stem cells, came across the Carrico and Wiseman 05 paper and used it in his finding to great success in his own research, delivering the 4 Yamanaka factors into adult human cells to achieve efficient reprogramming into induced pluripotent stem cells. Rossi's accomplishments based on using synthetic mRNAs with modified nucleosides did attract a lot of attention. He sought to receive venture funding for a startup company named Moderna. Uh-oh. Did I just say that? Did I just say the words Moderna? Let me rewind that back. So we don't have no Robert Malone nowhere, but we got Carrico, Wiseman, and Polinsky. Then in comes a young Harvard student named Derek Rossi, who finds a 2005 paper written by Carrico and Wiseman to deal with some science in his stem cell research. Rossi's accomplishments on using synthetic mRNA that he got out of that 2005 paper helped bring forth some information from him, which helped him sought out and receive a venture funding for a startup company named Moderna, which was founded in the United States in 2010 with the goal of developing mRNA therapeutics. Moderna licensed patents that had been filed by the University of Pennsylvania based on the discoveries of Carrico and Wiseman. See, Rossi left Moderna in 2014 to focus on other entrepreneurial activities. Meanwhile, another startup company, BioNTech, which was founded in Germany in 2008 by Ugur Sahin and Turasi, also embraced nucleoside modified mRNA licensing patents to the Carrico and Wiseman technology. BioNTech's goal was to create a vehicle for personalized cancer vaccines using specific tumor antigens. By 2015, BioNTech, where at this point Carrico had been appointed as senior vice president, had expanded their original focus from developing vaccines for cancer immunotherapy to viral vaccine development. Meanwhile, Moderna in 2013 had begun using Carrico and Wiseman's modified RNA technology to create vaccines for Zika, chikungunya, and cytomegalovirus, as well as passive immunization using monoclonal antibodies. The ability of BioNTech and Moderna to adapt mRNA as a vaccine against viral infections came only after years of work demonstrating that non-inflammatory nucleoside modified mRNAs could be translated at high levels in cells and culture and in mice, and most importantly, in demonstrations that newly developed platform could be used therapeutically. Now, by 2012, Carrico and Wiseman reported that mice injected with lipid complex with in vitro synthesized nucleoside modified mRNAs in which uridine was replaced with pi encoding erythropoietin elicited the production of elevated serum levels of the hormone as early as 6H after injection. This increased the erythropoietin levels was accompanied by, I botched that, significant increases in reticulocytes and hematocrits. Similar results were obtained with non-human primates. The same coding sequence with unmodified uridine produced 10 to 100-fold, low levels of erythropoietin. During 2017 and 2018, Carrico and Wiseman, working with postdoctoral fellow Norbert Party, and here come another person, Party, who was later to join the faculty in Penn School of Medicine, published a series of seminal papers demonstrating the use of modified mRNA as an antiviral vaccine in mice and non-human primates. We going deep, ladies and gentlemen, and we have yet heard of a Robert Malone. Protection against Zika virus infection was obtained by a single injection of a lipid nanoparticle with 1 pseudouridine containing mRNA encoding virus antigen. The success begins with Zika virus infection. The lipid nanoparticle enabled fusion with the host cell and also proved to be an effective adjuvant. The vaccine elicited a potent and durable neutralizing antibody response to the Zika envelope glycoproteins. Because the Zika virus epidemic occurred in 2013 and the success of this vaccine candidate was not reported until 2017, human trials were not possible as by the endemic had abated and there were too few susceptible individuals for the meaningful trial. The following year, Party, Carrico, and Wiseman went on to successfully use M1 containing mRNA encoding viral surface antigens to HIV and Zika and influenza to elicit potent immune responses in mice and non-human primates. In an attempt to raise antibodies to a conserved region based on modified mRNA for producing therapeutic proteins, this technology has revolutionized vaccineology. Under FDA emergency use authorization, the modified mRNA vaccines against SARS-CoV-2 from Moderna and Pfizer are saving the lives of countless numbers of people worldwide and are a major factor in quelling the COVID-19 pandemic. Looking to the future, there will be other pandemics. It is not a question of if, but other highly transmittable coronaviruses, deadly influenza viruses, or as yet unknown pathogens appear on the horizon. Fortunately, the modified mRNA vaccine strategy is highly versatile because target antigen sequences can be easily and rapidly tailored to match newly emerging viral, parasitic, or bacterial pathogens. The discovery and implementation of mRNA vaccines will continue to have an enormous impact on global health. All right. I skipped some of this because I didn't want to get into the other specifics about the FDA and all of that. I wanted to give you that. So here we have SARS-CoV-2 with RNA genome. If you just watch my previous build or presentation regarding ribosomes, I walked a lot of the way through that little process and how the ribosome is structured and function. And then we watched the video showing the effectiveness of how viruses use ribosomes to manipulate us and get us sick and get other people sick and create multitudes of the virus in the body and so on and so forth. Okay, we get all of that. But what I just did was help you understand the reason why Robert Malone is mad without bringing up his actual claims. Because remember, people says, this guy says that mRNA is dangerous, and he says that the body makes copies of the spike and that the spike is poisonous and it'll kill you. He said all of these particular things. However, what he did not tell you was that he wasn't a part of the research that tells you or shows you or demonstrates to you that the spike only lasts 14 days and then it is dissolved out of the body. And it's not even the spike from a live virus, it's a synthetic spike. And the reason that the synthetic works so well is because of research that was done by Wiseman, done by Carrico, done by Rossi, done by Pardee, that brought all of this forth to help the vaccines be so successful and be made in record-setting times to prevent more deaths. So let's go over the figure 1 description that we see here. This is the design of a pseudouridine modified mRNA vaccine for COVID-19. This is, again, a design. Now, schematic of SARS-CoV-2 virus with the viral genomic RNA shown within. The receptor bindings, as you can see, receptor bindings. Okay, we're going here. Follow me. We're starting here. We're here. We're dealing with spikes. These are the spikes. Those little stick-like things, spike gene is inside here, but those little receptors are here. We're going here, and you're dealing with natural mRNA with uridine induces inflammation here, and then you get this structure here, and then you come out and you deal with the the modified RNA encoding spike here. lipid coating here, mRNA vaccine here, and you're doing the pseudouridine thing here, and then you're getting the modified RNA synthesized thing here, and then it goes there. So you have the virus, which causes inflammation here, the pseudouridine or the pseudovirus or the vaccine, as you want to say, here. This is why you see pseudouridine. You see uridine, pseudouridine. I know some of y'all may not know this because you haven't heard of this jargon before, but if you watch 12 TV, they use these terms a lot and people don't understand what they're saying because they're talking about these things, and then you don't have these $200, $300 books, so it kind of goes all over the place. However, this is the virus and how it behaves normally. This is it. This is what the mRNA vaccine is. Totally different. Everything is modified. They use a lipid coating. They use the pseudouridine, the modified RNA encoding on the inside, similar to what this looks like in the regular virus here. All right. Then it goes on. When it gets to the point of dealing with the pseudouridine diameter, the mRNA is synthesized in vitro with pseudouridine and does not induce inflammation. The target of Wiseman and Carrico's research was to not create inflammation here. It took time. There were a lot of doctors that were instrumental in mRNA technology in the 80s. A lot. There was no one doctor who's responsible for the evolutionary bringing forth of this science. That's not the case. There were many. But the two people who were instrumental in taking it further than everyone else since 1985 were Wiseman and Carrico. But then Porty and Rossi played instrumental roles in that as well. And then you had the Australian guy who developed the lipid nanoparticle, the delivery technology, which made it very well possible for you to use your pseudouridine, package it up and cover it up in this lipid nanoparticle, get it to the cell, and then the whole process starts to prevent a novel virus from spreading infectious disease across your body, killing you or hospitalizing you. So, to all the Robert Malone fans, I apologize to you for being misinformed. I apologize for the fact that he presented to you information that stated that the spike protein was dangerous. Little did he know that they were not using the actual virus. China was. China weakened the virus, and then they created and developed a vaccine that was trash, but they vaccinated billions of people with this vaccine, and then they turned around and said, hey, we need something a little bit stronger. Maybe we need to look into the mRNA technology and vaccine more people and vaccinate another billion people. Malone was not instrumental in bringing forth mRNA vaccines. So he didn't know none of the stuff that was taking place. He wasn't reading the science. He wasn't dealing with any of that information. So shout out to Carrico and Wiseman for their accomplishment. They set the benchmark. This was science at its best. They're honored for their work. So again, we got to be very careful when we're allowing people to say what they're saying about certain things. Nah, it wasn't done by Robert Malone. He didn't do anything. Let's see. Go see if you can find me a scientific article published by Robert Malone. on mRNA vaccine or vaccine technology. Go do that. I'll wait. Zion, you in the chat. You said something about it. Go see if you can find your boy. He had nothing to do with the COVID-19 pandemic information. Nothing. He did some research in 85. He got some patents. Back then, he didn't do nothing. In the 80s, while a researcher at Salk Institute, he conducted studies on mRNA technology, discovering that it was possible to transfer mRNA protected by liposomes into culture cells to signal information needed for the production of proteins. In the early 90s, he collaborated with Wolf, Carson, and others, and others on a study that first suggested the possibility of synthesizing mRNA in the laboratory to trigger production of desired protein. Now, he claims to be the inventor of mRNA vaccines, although credit for the distinction is more often given to later advancements by Carrico and Rossi and Wiseman, and was ultimately the result of contributions of hundreds of researchers, of which Malone was but one. He was one of hundreds of researchers, but he claims to be the sole proprietor of this particular technology. He worked for so long, and then, you know what I'm saying, after a while, he was no longer useful. He went into a whole nother field of study, like dealing with pharmaceuticals and things of that nature. And he has yet, I'm gonna say it again, he has yet to deal with SARS-CoV-2. Any research, a part of any lab work, cohort studies, any of that. He has no scientifically published articles, journals, or anything regarding that work. Now, let me take that back. Let me retract that. There's another researcher that I think that he proposed. There's somebody out there that he was actually using, but they were proposing an alternative outside of the vaccine. And I think that might have been published, but that was the use of ivermectin. So yeah, that's it, ivermectin. There was a journal rejected two of the papers that he was selected, and he co-authored the rejected articles regarding the use of ivermectin. So that's what you're dealing with. A proponent of ivermectin, horse dewormer. He also encouraged the use of hydroxychloroquine, another failed trial. So it began to be personal for him because these articles were rejected. So it's bigger than what we know it, because he doesn't get any credit for mRNA technology and the vaccines today. So it's personal for him. And then his alternatives were failed alternatives. And all he does is tweet. In two published articles that were both retracted, he tweeted behind them. So that's, that's that on that, man. That's that on that. And as I said before, I brought to you guys a lot of other information. I brought forth that in my book, talked about it in my book. I've even showed y'all stuff about the guy on a website, but YouTube, blocked the book. Yeah, well, I'm not dealing with I'm not gonna deal. I'm gonna laugh at certain people going forward. I don't want to deal with like the ignorance, because seeing it now, some people just don't know, and they don't want to know, even if you provide them the right information. So I'm not going to exhaust myself into trying to fight every claim. I just pick and choose when I want to. Like I sent him the Robert Hilger video. IG told him to watch it, and he said that he did. And yesterday when he talked, come to find out that he didn't watch it, and Robert is black. Robert Hildreth. I don't know what's up with that. Oh, okay, y'all having y'all own conversation. All right. Okay, so again, the book can be pre-ordered. What SARS-CoV-2 taught me. Spillmasters is out, all platforms. Get the book. Get both books. Support us. Come on, man. We put a lot of work into that. I have a limited amount of copies of what SARS-CoV-2 taught me that will be signed copies. Signed copies. I'm doing a limited amount. And then when the book actually hits, it'll be on all platforms. You can pre-order your copy right now. You're going to have your book before everyone else. And it's going to be signed. And it's going to be signed. Yeah, I was about to correct you, Mongo, because Dr. James Hildreth is in Nashville. Dr. James Hildreth runs the program at Fisk University. Dr. James Hildreth won a Nobel Prize on his work on HIV. Dr. James Hildreth also teaches Vanderbilt students. So imagine a doctor at a HBCU teaching students at the university, well, Vanderbilt University, an esteemed university. Nah, bro. You know what? Everything. Yeah, I think some are. Yeah, some are. I'm lying. I said nah, but yeah. Uncle B putting some copies in Black Dot. They'll be at the bookstore. He said, Mongo said, yeah, I know he's gonna correct me. Well, I can't. It's two different chats, so I'm trying to keep up. Why are you streaming on both platforms? Shameful. Oh, well, I had to. We got people that might not come to the mosque. We got people from the mosque that might not go to the other. So I want to make sure that everybody know where we at. We at where we at. We be where we be. We're in these YouTube streets. Everything is everything. It won't be signed. Only if you want a signed copy from the book, it ain't gonna be in Black Dot. I'm shipping all the books. Straight up. You want a signed copy? There go the link. I'm shipping everything signed, personalized to you from me. I can see both chats. CK, you said something over there. You said something about PCR, and I was responding to that. I said I really, if pseudo's claiming stuff about PCR tests, I really didn't want to deal with that at all. Because they have to show and prove. So anyone saying that PCR test, what they are doing and not doing, they got to demonstrate that. Yeah, everything. You said if you're trying to purchase the book, none of the signed copies are going to be in the bookstore. They're going to be unsigned copies in the bookstore. You'll be able to purchase it like any other book in the bookstore. That'll be for sure. But if you're looking for a signed copy, you have to pre-order. I'm not signing copies and then sending them to the bookstore. No. How is it going to be personalized if I signed it and then sent it to the bookstore? All right, let me see something here. So I got eyes in both chats by Jeremy. He put eyes in both chats. CK says she fighting pseudos using the Gish Gallop. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. It's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. But y'all been on here for 52 minutes on this one, an hour on the other show. I really would appreciate if everybody tuned in and watched the presentation that I did early on the Masa Warrior Clan channel to get some understanding and some straightening on that, and maybe share that with people and see if that's useful. Sometimes you got to go backwards to go forwards, or to insert. To go backwards to insert information to bring that information forward, so to give you more clarity and understanding. And that was my attempt to actually do that. So let me check. Let's see what's going on here. By the way, those pills that Merck are touting, they are to prevent death. They are not to prevent the spread of infectious disease. They are not going to treat COVID. They're not going to do any of that. Those are emergency use, pretty much like emergency to the severity of the situation. So you still need a vaccine. I'm going to be signing books for people who purchased the pre-orders. And if I do show up to a bookstore, that'll be different. I may sign a copy if someone walked up to me and got the book and want me to sign a book. I'll do that. But I don't know if I'm going to do a public book signing, like an event or anything like that, because too much has to go into scheduling and organization, and I don't know the complexity of people's schedules during this time of year, which would allow that. That boy put an article in there that said that anti-vax parents don't care if you get sick. You just have to deal with that. I mean, you got some people that's stubborn like that. Nah, you ain't the only one that sent me that, man. Everybody sent me that, but I had already read it, and I already knew about the pill format, because they were already talking about, doing a therapeutic to go with that, because they're looking for an alternative for people who just were too hesitant with the vaccine. So they were looking for other measures. And then you got people who can't really just get the vaccine, so they're looking for alternatives for them. So let me see. It's been a struggle studying and coding. Yeah. I put a lot of effort into that book, a lot of work into it, organizing all the data, the sources. I kind of let the information stand on its own. Some instances, summarizing other instances and providing other intakes elsewhere, And then I even wrote 2 bonus chapters, not really long chapters. It's pretty much like articles to build on some arguments that may go into a part 2 of what SARS-CoV-2 taught me, possibly. But at the end of each chapter, there's some, you're going to appreciate each chapter. I tell you that now. You're going to appreciate each chapter. Kofi, who wasn't following the conversation for a while, gave up on the information and said that he brought the book. And he read the book, of course, and it inspired him a little bit. So there's a show that he's going to be doing on Monday with him and his wife regarding COVID. I think he's supposed to be having some type of conversation with COVID, about COVID. I don't know. We got to stay tuned for that and deal with that. Roster, I don't know. I mean, just because I'm close to Atlanta don't mean that I just want to go to Atlanta and do a signing or something like that. I'm supposed to be interviewing, I don't know when, but Pseudo Killers officially on Kofi Pi-Psi research team, maybe somewhere else within the families, and go from there. I have got some good feedback from doctors, which most people have already heard. I've got good feedback from doctors. They think that me doing what I'm doing, or if I'm communicating with people who are more hesitant, that they are more ample to listen to me than doctors because of the, the history or whatever, and just my understanding from what I've learned and what we've dealt with. So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Shoot, I can't even get y'all in the chat. I can't even get y'all in both of these chats to buy the book. to get some straightening. So I guess, I aim for a different target. I mean, a target audience. Shoot, they might get the book before you, everything. Ha ha. Ain't no Mike, shoot. Yeah, I know you did, CK. We get email. I get emails when people go on purchase. So we got the emails of people who actually purchase. That boy crazy, pure black crazy. About the breakthrough. Yeah, man. People, I talk about that in the book too. I think breakthrough is kind of exaggerated a little bit. I think it's the wrong word. I'm with, you'll see it in the book. I ain't gonna say, but I'm with a top scientist in regard to that whole breakthrough stuff, the way it's perceived. People are still getting infected with stuff that we've been vaccinated against a long time ago. You got people out there that are getting Moderna booster shots anyway right now. Listen, if you've been vaccinated with Moderna, you don't need a booster shot. The Delta variant only weakened Moderna's efficacy by, it went from 94 to 88. You doing that over that small percentage of efficacy is crazy. This boy pure black and caught COVID. Hold on, time out. Oh, okay. You saying that? All right. Yeah, y'all can't see pure. I had to slow down real quick. That boy, listen. You didn't want to listen to me, pure. You didn't want to listen to me. Johnson & Johnson has the weakest efficacy of the 3 vaccines. And people got Johnson & Johnson because it was a 1 dose. So your probability of a breakthrough infection is highly. Now, what's crazy is that this pure, you could have gotten mRNA vaccine on top of your Johnson & Johnson, and you would have been cool. CK, you're frontline in the fight, so you're eligible for the booster, and I would recommend that you get that. But anybody that has gotten Moderna vaccine, you don't need. I'm standing on that. You really don't need it with Pfizer because hospitalizations and deaths is been in the 90s. But to increase efficacy against protection against infection, to reduce the likelihood of breakthrough infection or so forth or whatever, for some people mentally that might be best. Oh, you quit? Wow, my bad. Oops, I didn't know that. You can go back and get. No, I wouldn't even say that because look, check this out, Pure. You can get another a booster shot of Johnson & Johnson, and efficacy will go up to 95%. The thing is how much over a period of time will that protection want? Will it be faster than mRNA vaccines? Will it stretch out over a year worth of data like the other vaccines? And will it continue to fight and do things by minimizing your symptoms? Now, Moderna is the best out of the three. Moderna's been doing very well. Pfizer second and Johnson & Johnson third. But guess what? All three of those vaccines are doing better than any vaccine in China and other parts of the world. They're doing better than AstraZeneca and all of that. The problem is that the problem with Johnson & Johnson is that it uses a viral vector vaccine. So it's using second generation technology, which isn't benefiting you at all. It's benefiting, but not benefiting you in a way that the mRNA technology is. He said Moderna is that exotic. Yeah. I drove 40 minutes for that Moderna. I ain't gonna lie to you. So, Benita, if your grandmother's listening, that would be what I would recommend. Sinovac, whack. Absolutely. I don't know what Unc that or what Unc doing. And I ain't got no visitors on here, and I ain't finna entertain y'all for no another few hours. You hurry. I don't care nothing. Waning protection. I know. I just say one. Waning, waning. Same difference. So you know what I'm talking about. Or you wouldn't try to just say like plain. All right, let me talk about what I got coming up, man. I've been doing a lot of research on some cultural aspects of Africa. I'm going to put together either an article or some type of presentation regarding some intricate pieces of Kimoyo that will back Kofi's book up. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing something to back Kofi's book up, and just give you some cultural perspectives that'll be held on the Massive Warrior Clan channel. If I do an article, then it will come up in a future publication. I don't plan on writing anything else for a minute. I do have a children's book that I need to revisit. That's done. I just need to revisit it and see if I can orchestrate it in a different way to not make it a book, but to make it inclusive in a children's overall children's book where I can reintroduce One Night Before Bed and this and maybe another another part of a book and make it overall one book. I don't know how that's gonna go. I might sit on it for a while and deal with it in subjects and then put all the subjects together and bring that forth. Really, I don't want to write anything any further because I'm looking forward to Chavis and Sutek, potentially Satep and Rod T'Challa to produce their written works. Big Brother Nahisi, I'm waiting on Big Brother Nahisi's work to drop. I seen his book cover to his book and know some of his information fire. Waiting on that. Hopefully our brother Mike on the Master Warrior Clan, he can drop a book. Fortune, we get some type of video vlog from him. Aziz has been working in Senegal among the Wolof in a restoration project. I want to see how that's been going for brother Aziz, and he also deals with linguistics. Black Panther has a book that he's working on. It may be out by the year's end, so waiting on that. Ankh has 2 books, one science related and one history related that he's talked about. And he's began writing, or I don't know how far along he is in those writings, so waiting on that. Sabu Jawa has a grammar book. It should have already been out. We're waiting on that. Saw, I think, got something down the pike that he's sitting on. Smash is working on a DAO project. Who else working on something? I guess Garfield, I guess he got a part 2 or whatever he got coming from his part 1. Sister Monica selling juices. So make sure you get that. But that money that you spend with her goes toward projects. Goes toward scholarships and things of that nature. And we are still, trying to put out products and things of that nature so that we can get more people scholarships in the Gambia at the Gay and Jaro Skills Academy. So once we get that done, we'll do that. Now, I also would tell y'all this, that every time y'all buy one of my books, I don't know about the brothers, but one of my books, I set aside a percentage of the book sale to go to the Gambia. And I'm just waiting to tally all of that up. And then I send over a that percentage, overall percentage over, and see if we can keep, get those people supplied with backpacks, school supplies, other things on top of their scholarship. So supporting my work is also supporting your brothers and sisters back on the continent of Africa, specifically the Gambia at the Gay and Jaro Skills Academy. I'm going to say that again. Supporting my work is also supporting your brothers and sisters on the continent. This is a Pan-African movement. Supporting my work is also supporting our brothers and sisters on the continent, the Gambia specifically, at the Gay and Jaro Skills Academy, where we have a scholarship program. This is Pan-Africanism. So for all the RBGs and all the other people out there who are talking about that they want to support, don't know how to support, and this, that, and the third, our books, my book specifically, and I know Kofi has done it with his book, but our vantage points to helping our brothers and sisters on our continent. So it goes beyond, supporting me. You're not just supporting me, you're supporting a school in Africa. You're supporting children in Africa, specifically the Gambia. Exactly, in Boca. So I'm about to go run me 2 miles I'm gonna fold my clothes first. Then I'm gonna run me 2 miles, and then I'm gonna enjoy Friday Night Lights. I appreciate everybody tuning in on both platforms. Go get your copy of What SARS-CoV-2 Taught Me. Pre-order your copy today. Go get your copy of Spill Masters. Please get your copy of Spill Masters. It's going down. Support us. Support us. Do more than just like a video. Tune in for the information. Support us. I run 3 miles every day, but the last 3 days I've been running 2 miles. I'm running 2 miles for a reason, and it's actually more than 2 miles. But you always have one person that like to hate. Some people hate. Doom, 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 doom. Some people hate. Let's look at my activity. Some people kill their brothers, and I'm coming. Oh. This is my month to date since, let me go back when. Let's go. Let's go. Last week, this week. Oh, so this doesn't go back too far. But cause you hating on me. You know what I'm saying? Cause you're a hater. It's cause you're a hater, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that right there for you. Just for the hater. 2.88 miles, my guy. 2.95, my guy. 2.5 miles, my guy. Let me go a little bit further. Let me go back. Oh, you ain't running on 3 miles. Nope, you're right. 3.56, 3.57. Just jogging. Just jogging. 3.58, 1.38, 0.7. I broke them up one day. Look at that. Look at that. There you go. Just show you where I was breaking it up. 2.40 plus the 0.71. 3.60. Come on now. 3.57. Let's see you get out there. 3.58. Don't play with me. You know, I always keep a dagger for a pseudo. Bro, do you not see the times? You think somebody can walk almost 4 miles in less than 30 minutes? Or around 30 minutes, 35 minutes? The average pace at 8.28 per mile? Come on now. Some people hate. He said Moderna, that Zaza. Boy, you crazy. You've been running from the miles, adding up, Shawn. Yeah, all right, okay. Culture, coffee, and cannabis. I'm an athlete. I was gonna see you like that. So you can say I'm an athlete. You can say I ain't a hooper. Yeah, you're right. You can say that. You see, I just be debunking people. They be like, you ain't ran nothing. My whole app says runs, bro. It don't say walks. It says runs. Since I began it, I think this thing goes back. It ain't been that long, but 350.7 miles, 103 runs, 60 hours, 45 minutes, and 23 seconds. Can you do that? Can you do that? Can you do that? 350 miles, 103 runs, 10.23 pace, 60 hours, 45 minutes, 23 seconds. Can you do that? Can you do that? More specifics. 3.40 mile runs. Average 35 minutes. I got to get that down. Elevation 23.719 feet. That means I'm running like this when I hit them hills. I know he trolling. Why you ask me about the Big Bang Theory? JJ, don't ask me about the Big Bang Theory, okay? I know you talking crazy. And no, you will not dunk on me. And anyway, about the Big Bang Theory, yes, we have evidence for the Big Bang Theory. We don't have any evidence of somebody creating the Earth. We're going to wait on you to debunk science, JJ. Don't worry about it. We're waiting. So look, man, I'm not going to hold everybody up. JJ going to keep us in here with his ruckus. You know what I'm saying? JJ, if you have a presentation, if you have a slideshow presentation, or if you have a not a slideshow, if you have a PowerPoint presentation, JJ, we will take a look at your information and we will let you present that information to us on the Kofi Pie Side research team, because that's where he at, y'all. Y'all can't see him, his comments. But we will deal with it like that. If you're not going to write an article, what you mean check you out tonight? I'm not checking you. Boy, you crazy. All right, anyway, look, salute everybody, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. It's going down. It keeps going down. Again, pick up Spellmasters. Volume 4 out right now, Sciencew different branch. The link is in the description. Get What SARS-CoV-2 Taught Me. Pre-order copy today. I will sign it. You will get it. I am getting notifications. More people have purchased the book. So that's what's up. We appreciate the love, the support. Like I said, keep doing it. Anything that you purchase from me on my end, proceeds will be going back to our brothers and sisters in Africa, the Gambia specifically, at the Gay and Gyro Skills Academy. We're trying to make sure that we get our brothers and sisters properly educated, and that they have the tools, the uniforms, and everything that they actually need to be successful. And maybe one day that paves the way for them being able to do something like the unthinkable and get us what we need to get back over there, even if it's just for vacations, even if it is to repatriate, or even if it is to invest in businesses and things of that nature, for those who have Pan-African aspirations and dreams. So on that note, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Go back and watch the build I did about an hour and 20 minutes ago, or 2 hours ago, on the Masi Warrior Clan, regarding a presentation that I know that y'all will enjoy and that'll bring you some information. Other than that, man, stay tuned. I might be back later this evening. You never know. Tune in to any family member that may be live later, and y'all know what I'm about to do.